Happy 4th of July! Thank y'all for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Y'all, this is my 25th video. It's been phenomenal. The outpouring of support that I've gotten from y'all, but also the outpouring of hearing that this has helped others that are going through similar situation than what I have. And that is exactly what I've been wanting to do. So keep it coming, keep sharing these videos because I want to help others. I want to try to help prevent others from going through what I went through for 32 years. Today I want to talk about a meme I saw on Facebook that I know God made sure I saw. It simply said, "Don't you quit. Cuss the whole way if you want, but don't you quit." And this week, especially, that resonated with me. Oh boy, did I need to see that. Because this week, especially, has been super tough. I'm going through another phase of therapy, and it's a really tough part to go through because it's dealing with the things I allowed happen to my kids. And oh my goodness, I already had a lot of regret when it comes to things I allowed with my kids or allowed to happen with my kids. This just kind of brought up a good bit more that I kind of placed in that vault in the back of my brain. And it's been hard to deal with. This week has been exhausting emotionally. By Friday, when I had another therapy appointment, I just broke down through a big part of the session because all these regrets are coming up and I'm beating myself up all over again. And then my therapist helped me remember I'm not that same person that I was. I'm not excusing it by any stretch. Some of the things I allowed, I look back and think, my goodness, how could I have allowed that? This is clearly abuse or whatever the incident, and I allowed it because I didn't have the backbone to stand up to him. I was too scared. And I regret that. But I am grateful that I'm not that person anymore. My goodness, this year I have been very bold in expressing myself. I mean, not overly so. I pick my battles, so to speak. But I'm also quick to defend myself, where I was even with customers. Because I'll have customers that get snippy and they start getting degrading and talk down to me. And I, in a very professional manner, I'll keep it professional. But I will snap back and say, I'm trying to help you. I cannot help you if you talk over me. Or I cannot help you if you talk down to me like this. I am trying to help you, so please let me finish. And more often than not, they'll stop, because they think that customer service workers, they're supposed to take it all, customers always right type thing, and it kind of surprises them when someone doesn't. I mean, I've never yelled at a customer, and I won't let it get to that point. It's not worth it. But I even stick up for myself now. I even correct people when they mispronounce my name. Penny. How difficult is that? I even enunciate the P when I introduce myself, when I answer the phone. Hi, my name is Penny. But yet, can't tell you how many times I've been called Kenny, Tammy, Peggy, Amy. And I will say, hi there, whoever. My name is Penny with a P. And so it's a little thing. And some may dismiss it and say, oh, it's no big deal. It is to me, because that's my name. And if you're going to refer to me by a name, you refer to me by my name, my given name. But I didn't get to this point overnight. I got to this point by a lot of kicking and screaming, because God's trying to get me through it, and I'm like, no, I don't want to. It's too hard. I just want to throw my hands up and give up. And God is like, no, dear, you got to get through this. Trust me on this. That's where we got a problem, because I have trust issues. You know this, God. Yeah, and you need to trust me. Well, I had trust issues from I don't even know how long. And after dealing with all of this, I have even more trust issues. So what is God trying to do? Teach me trust. There were days that I didn't want to get out of bed. There were days, oh my goodness, that part in the meme about cuss the whole way through, but just don't quit. I would be cussing, just getting out of bed, because all I wanted to do was stay in bed, covers over my head, pretend the world doesn't exist. But you can't do that, because though you may feel good that one day, it's a domino effect. At least it is with me. Because if I allow myself to do that one day, I want to do it another and another and another. I'm so grateful that I have work. I work from home right now, but it's still work. Because I don't know what if I'd do. And I don't know what I'd do if I didn't have my kids. Ironically, the things I'm going through right now are regret that I allowed my kids to go through. But yet, through it all, they love me. Yeah, we're dealing with things that, is tough to handle. As I've said before, healing is not for the faint of heart. It's not for the faint of heart. But it's so worth it, because I can see the growth I've had in just a year and a half alone. And I can see that I'm not the person that I was. Do I wish I was the person I am now, back in 2007, when I first called the cops on him? Yeah. Because that person would not have believed the lies he told me. And that's another thing I want to talk about. You're going to go through hard days. You're going to go through days where your abuser is being all nice and putting up the airs and acting all good, when in truth they're just trying to get you back. I look back, and back in 2007, when I had called the police on him, I was in a position to stay gone. He was in jail. I had a protection order against him. I had a lot of community help in place and then being eligible for even more community help. But something inside of me wanted to confront him and see what he had to say for himself, what he did to me. So I confronted him. And he gave me this song and dance. Oh, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have done it. You deserve to be cherished, and on and on. Even deep down inside of me, something told me, don't trust the apology. Yet I didn't listen to it. Had I listened to that apology, had I not listened to that apology, things would have been so different for my kids. They would not have been damaged nearly, or traumatized rather, nearly to the extent that they were. But I didn't want a failed marriage. I didn't want that. I didn't want to be yet another statistic. And I took him back against my better judgment. Even when I was going through the process of vacating the protection order, there were things in place that told me, nah, I don't know about that. That's a red flag. But yet, I didn't listen to it. And that is a big regret. If I was the woman then that I am now, there'd have been no way in God's green earth I would have taken him back. Not a chance. But I did. Then, back in 2011, when I went to stay with my sister, me and my youngest stayed with her for 2-3 weeks. It was my youngest and my daughter, and I had it good there. She was not going to ask for any rent, any help with the bills, nothing. Any money I made was going to go back straight to my pocket. And I even told her, it may take me a year to get on my feet. And she's like, that's fine. Take as long as you need. So I had a perfect situation. But again, I didn't listen to my gut. I just was stuck on not wanting a failed marriage instead of thinking about my kids. And that I was in a perfect position to stay gone at that point. I had my own room. My sister had plenty enough room for my daughter and my youngest son rather. And yet, all I was hooked on was wanting to keep that marriage safe. Somehow thinking that if things are in this position, then we can work on our marriage and things are going to get better. He's going to realize where he's wrong. Things only got worse. Because when I came back, the manipulation got even worse. And the isolating me, got even worse. And this past year, going through all of that, remembering all of that, it's been hard. And that's why I want to talk to others who are going through this and struggling and thinking, well, my abuser's being so nice. I think he or she realizes that he was wrong or she was wrong, and I want to give it one more try. They really never ever get better because they don't think that what they did was all that wrong. They may think on some surface level that what they did was wrong, but they don't think on a deeper level, like subterranean level, that it was wrong in any other way. Like with my abuser, even after he got carted off to jail last year, and one particular thing he said that made me realize that he has no clue as to what he did. We had to get pet pinning kit. I can't talk today. Pet guinea pig for 7 years. This guinea pig was 7 years old. And going through all of this, dealing with him in jail, COVID, working from home, my pet guinea pig dies. Well, I talked about it with my sister-in-law and my pastor, and I forgot which, but one of them told my ex. And my sister-in-law then relays a message to me about a day or two later that to ask me to keep the guinea pig cage, don't throw that away, because when he comes back, he wants another little one. Y'all, to say I was floored at that point, that's an understatement of the year. It didn't really surprise me that he said that, but yet on the same token, I was like, did he not get anything? Does he not get a clue as to why he went to jail? He is regretting that he got caught. He's not regretting what he did. At least not on the deep level. That what he did was abuse. And in the midst of secondary charges that were put on him, I'm not going to go into that because those charges are still pending. But in the midst of those charges, he flat out told my pastor that we both know that I don't really belong here. Excuse me? What you did was awful. You actually deserve worse. But, so he doesn't get it. And I doubt he gets it to this day. But yet, at first, it was kind of hard. I was feeling, you know, I had feelings of maybe I should, maybe I, dismissing my feelings and what I went through and what my kids went through. Kind of thinking, oh, was it that bad? Maybe I should try to work things out. And of course, just when that thought even popped into my brain, bam, something happened that made me, no, never mind. But there's gonna be days like that where you think, oh, he's being so good, or she's being so good. Yeah, because they want you back. And then when you get back, it's gonna be worse. It's gonna be worse than before, because they realize that they can always manipulate you into coming back. And so they're going to manipulate you even more to keep you. So, though it's an uphill battle, and you're going through every type of feeling that is known to man, just keep pushing through and know that you're better off alone than with that abuser. Take it from one who knows. If I, as the person I am now, could go back in time, back in 07, and talk to my younger self, my 42-year-old self, or 43-year-old self rather, and if I could tell her anything, I would tell her, don't believe him. Don't even go talk to him. Just stay away, leave the protection order in place. You're not a bad person for a failed marriage. The marriage failed because of him. I'm not saying I'm not perfect. There was a lot of things I did that I was wrong for. But ultimately, I wasn't the abuser. Ultimately, I wasn't the one who abused our kids like he did. I abused him in the way that I allowed it to happen. And there were things that I allowed him to influence my thinking that I regret, and I wish I hadn't done it. But ultimately, he was the main abuser. And so I would tell that my young self, my 43-year-old self, don't you do it. Just stick to the path. You've got everything lined up in your favor. Just keep on going. And I did. And I would have. And that's what I'm asking you. Don't go back to your abuser. They abuse once, they're gonna abuse again. You can never trust, no matter how well they're acting. That's the thing. You don't know how much of it is a truth that they really feel this way, and how much of it is an act. There's no way of knowing until you're in it, and you don't want to take that chance. I know I don't. I would much rather be single for whatever years I have on this earth than to go back to my abuser. I'm good being single. Sure, I, as I've said before, I wouldn't mind knowing what it feels like to have someone truly love me for me and have an eye just for me and not a bazillion other women. But I'm okay being single because I know at least being single, I'm not going to be abused. And if I go back to him, not only will I be abused, but more importantly, my kids will be abused again. Because he'll start the same old song and dance where he'll want to make things up at first and heal things and all of that. But the minute he gets a weird thought in his brain, or they state their opinion of something that is opposite of his, then he'll be his foolish self all over again. And that's how abusers work. So take it from one who knows. Don't take the abuser back. It's not worth it. Because they'll behave for a season. And the moment they get you back, it may even take a few months before they revert back. But I can guarantee you with 99% certainty, they'll revert back. And then be even worse. Because they know they got you hooked. And they don't want to lose you again. So they're going to do even more manipulation, this time to keep you. You guys have an awesomely safe holiday and a wonderful week. Stay blessed. Bye.